had 6 kids by the time I was 24, and I had to become a single mom of 6. I have a lot of DMs, and I don't feel like replying to all of them, so let's do a story time on how I found out I was cheated on. The thing I noticed that a manipulator will do is that they will try to pick on you, and when you react in a bad way, they'll try to make it seem like you're the one who's not happy. I'd say around April 25th was the first day that he just didn't come home until like 11 in the afternoon. And I lost my mind. He was like trying to be like patient and calm about the situation. And I'm like, no, there's no patience or no calmness about the situation. He ended up getting upset because I was upset. Like, how are you upset? Because I'm upset about the situation. Fast forward to the next time, it was like probably like 2 weeks after that. I tried to play victim in the situation. He ended up saying that I was kicking him out, making me seem like I didn't want to be with him, and just a whole bunch of other stuff. Fast forward to 2 weeks later, he did the same thing, but this time the kids had to go to school. He used to always ride with his brother because he didn't like to work in our truck. So one day he was like, I don't know if my brother can come pick me up. But then he's like, I don't know if I want to take the truck because you always tell me I have to be home at a certain time. And I'm like, that's weird. And I'm just like, this is our truck. Why can't you take the truck? Like, you could take the truck. Like, I don't own the truck. Like, this is our truck. And then he took the truck. But this day, he did not come home until 12 in the afternoon. And that morning, I'm like, let me see how dumb I could be. So I'm just like, okay, he does take care of all the bills. He take care of me. He never tells me no. But let's see how far this could go. So I treated myself to a shopping spree. And I paid all the bills down to 0 because I'm like, if you're comfortable enough to go lay up, which I know you're doing, make sure that this house is comfortable. So I shopped, I paid the bills and whatnot. By the afternoon, he calls me and asks me why am I like acting crazy because I was blowing him up. The last text I sent them was, hey, I went shopping. Thank you. I love you. Then I get a call 12 o'clock in the afternoon with a sleepy voice. And he's like, I can't believe you did that. You just messed a lot up for our family and this and that, basically, because I messed up his investment. We should have phoned in 2025. And I went to go get the phone fixed because I felt like something wasn't right. I ended up going to get the phone fixed. I looked through it and I seen a girl blowing him up. I searched the number on Cash App. And when I searched the number on Cash App, it popped up to be somebody that I knew, somebody that knew me for a very long time. And I said, can't be. So I ended up playing like a long game, like trying to bring the person up in like old memories type vibe, or like just like in a weird scenario, and he would like just play it off. And then the one day I finally just bluntly asked him, and then he said, I had a feeling that you looked in one of my phones, but that's for my friend. He uses my phone because his phone is off. And I believe that because his friend's phone was always off. And based on what I look like, the way I act, and everything, I said, yeah, she's not his type. Definitely for his friend. And the fact that she knew me, I said, yeah, definitely for his friend. A couple days after that, I was in the kitchen making his lunch. And she was blowing his phone up as I was in the kitchen. I seen that number calling. And he looked at me, I looked at him, and whatnot. And then I started laughing. Weird. This is weird. I laughed. He gets like upset that I'm laughing. And he's like, I told you that's for my friend and this and that. And he like got upset, and I'm just like, He's like, just make my lunch, hurry up and whatnot. Made his lunch, he left, and then I texted him and I said, something's going on. I'm gonna get to the bottom of this. He tried to reassure me and whatnot. That day I ended up texting her because I knew I did end up saying something to her. Like basically like trying to get it out of her if she was sleeping with my husband. And she had a very nasty attitude, and the way she came at me about situation as if I took something from her, I knew that it wasn't his friend, and it was him. 2 days after that, his Google Photos ended up updating, and I seen a picture of her in my car. Prior to that, I still had like profile views on my TikTok, and she viewed my TikTok days before that. The phone that he was contacting her on was the welcome home gift that I had got him in January. And I was logged into my TikTok on that phone before then. So when he had, when she viewed my TikTok, I'm like, okay, maybe because like, she's on that phone and his friend is contacting her from this phone. So I didn't think anything of it, but I knew that she had viewed my TikTok already and seeing, like, you know, what I had going on, like my family and everything. So I'm like, yeah, she like, who would mess with a married man? That was my thing. Like, I know some people do, but it's just like, I don't know how La La Land. A couple of days after that, I ended up seeing a picture of her in my car, which very much surprised me, knowing that she's seen my TikTok where I post my car, and she was smiling in the front seat of my car, and I'll put the pictures up there, and I'm just like, my heart went to my stomach when I seen those pictures. I didn't go to sleep that night. The next morning, I was at her house. I confronted her face to face, and she acted so arrogant in the situation, acted like I took something from her. She literally wished death upon my kids, and it's just like, you're in love with the man, but you would wish death on his kids. That is so backwards to me. The thoughts that were going through my head in that moment, I knew that I was ready to leave everything behind. I was ready to go to jail. I'm not gonna lie. But I like literally thought about my daughters and my kids in general. I thought about my children, and I ended up going straight to Dollar General, which was right by her house, and got some bags. I just know if you're raised by a side piece that you're gonna be okay with being a side piece. Her mom is one of the top sister wives in the city. Her dad like literally has like 4 or 3 different baby mamas, and he was like going back and getting them pregnant sometimes in the same year. I think probably some of them the same age. And it's just like, you have that as a role model, and I'm like, I literally cannot compete. I'm gonna give you the man. So I gave her the man, and I left, because I knew if he knew that he could go somewhere basically cheaper and don't have to impress me as much, he was gonna be feeling himself if I stayed and let him do that. Like, that was just gonna boost his ego, and like I said, no, I have to get out of that situation. And just a disclaimer for the woman who does prey on people's relationships: just because a man will cheat with you does not mean he will be with you, because 9 times out of 10 you and his girl are 2 totally different people. Y'all, I just love that I gave her the man, and it still ain't her man.